What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some work to do. So the main thing is that the tires are one thing. Like the tires being bald are definitely one thing. Like my camber and everything, it's not that crazy. So like the drivability shouldn't be that affected by how minimal camber I have right now. Like, but I definitely should still be able to drive it. And the thing holding me back from that is that right now it feels so shaky when I drive it that makes me not want to drive it. So I'm gonna pull some of my front end apart, take a look at my suspension stuff, look at my wheel bearings and ball joints, see if I see anything weird. So that's probably why it's so shaky. I also, on the rear, I still have some rear toe control arms, some rear lower control arms that need to go in. They're adjustable, so like that can help get that little bit finer adjustment to actually get my toe dialed in, because it's ever so slight that, like I mentioned in the last video too, my tires are definitely they were like cupping and stuff. So I mean, obviously that's not good. We'll pull the front end apart. Probably I'm going to pull all my wheels off, just throw the car up on jacks, like on stands, and we'll go from there. The ceramic coating turned out really good that we did in the last video too. You can definitely tell that there's like a much more defined shine, and like it feels a lot smoother to the touch, and overall looks really good. I'm still contemplating if I want to actually change up the color of the car itself and rewrap it this year. I won't be painting it yet because like eventually I would love to paint it, but it's just more money that I don't have yet. So someday I'll get painted. But for now I am considering rewrapping it this year. So we'll see. That kind of, I think, is going to go hand in hand with what I decide to do for wheels, because like I said in the last video too, I am thinking about changing up my wheel setup. If I did, like, I won't be getting rid of the Zeldas because I would like to keep them for another car. But yeah, so Zeldas will be staying regardless. Might do a new wheel setup. If I don't, I'll just try and dial in my current suspension as much as I can, replace any wheel bearings or stuff that's going crazy right now because it drives like crap, and we'll go from there. So let's dig into the front and see what we find. So definitely my wheel bearings are not in good shape. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but like I can move that whole thing. So that's one thing. Definitely gonna get some new bearings. The other thing is that I have so much trouble with this CV, like my driver's side CV. I think I've replaced it twice now, and like either the CV goes bad or like just the boot keeps getting pushed off and spewing grease like all over the inside of everything. Like right now you can see on my wheel sensor it's like full of grease. Same with the inside of my
brake caliper and stuff over there. And it also gets on the inside of the wheel. So, need to see if there's something I can do with the CV on this side to fix that. Because the one on my right side hasn't had any issues ever. So, I don't know. We'll take a closer look at that. And most of my suspension on this thing, for any Vigor owners, is from like a 1990 to 1997 Honda Accord. They're like all the same fitment, except for a few pieces which are specific, like the front lower control arm, and that is like mostly it. Front lower control arm and front sway bar, it cannot be used from a 1990 to 97 Accord. But the upper suspension, I feel like the dimensions are slightly different, and I feel like I may have had to like take a hammer and pound this into the actual holes up here, but it's like ever so slight that it's still fine. So, little FYI for you. Yeah, so like, see how bald these things are, and definitely remnants of, like I was talking about, the grease getting on the inside of the barrel. So, like, I have done a 5-lug swap on this a few years ago, kind of before I started filming anything, and for what reason I would have actually used these screws on the rotor, I don't really know, because I mean, I don't know, people debate it, I guess, but I don't really think it's a big deal if you don't use them. And I hope they come out easy, because I know they can be a pain in the ass. We will take the rotor off and kind of get, yeah, like, look at that. I don't know if it's so hard to show on camera, but this whole thing moves. But yeah, basically I'll take this all off so that we can look at the hub and the wheel bearing and just be ready to swap a new one in. Yep, called it. These things are in here very bad and already like stripped out. So what I'm going to try and do is hit the screwdriver in there and use this wrench to get it while applying a lot of pressure here. So I don't know if I'll get these out or if I'll have to drill them out. No, that's not gonna work. I'll have to drill it and then possibly get new hubs, because I don't want to, well, actually no, hubs will be fine, but I'll have to drill it. I think I'm just gonna continue taking the caliper off first, and then I'll come back to that after. Boot is like off. I guess it's not broken, it's just slid from here, like over enough that all the grease is coming out. I don't know why that is. Now to drill these stupid rotor screws out, because I was dumb and used them. Well, that was easy. I probably drilled too far, to be honest, but hey.
Okay, well, yeah, with the CV joint, I really am not sure if I'm gonna need a new one again, or if I'll be able to get away with somehow just kind of fixing the boot and finding a better way to hold that boot on there so that it's not like slipping off somehow. It's either getting stretched too much that it's slipping off and wanting to pull back, or something like that. So I will figure that out. I got plans for the rest of the night. So we'll just continue with this video in the morning. Alright guys, so it is the next day. I'm going to just finish getting the CV out of here and the hub, and we will go from there. I don't know how much further than that I'll do in this video. I might kind of just get that stuff out and then continue with it in the next video, but we will take that out and we'll go from there. Okay, so I managed to finesse the CV out of there without having to take anything else off, except for my upper ball joint from the knuckle. Now, only thing left is I need to pound out the hub, which is this whole center piece in there, and we'll go from there, because this is where like my wheel bearing is definitely bad. So this needs to be replaced, and CV needs to be looked at to see if we can do something about that boot slipping off. And it's out. So now I can try and save the hub by pressing the hub out of the actual like bearing assembly, and then I'll only have to replace the bearing assembly, but I'm not sure if that'll work so well or if I'll just get a new hub also. Yeah, when like I've done a 5-lug swap on this car in the past, so in order to do that, these hubs are actually off of like a Honda Odyssey, and to make them fit, had to slightly like elongate the holes here to actually bolt the hub in, as well as like bore this diameter out a bit to fit the slightly larger hub diameter. So that was part of the 5-lug swap that I did, and I don't know if that's partly why I'm getting issues with the CV, is because like maybe that distance is just slightly different from what it was factory without the 5-lug swap. I don't think so, because I mean, it seemed like everything worked out really well. So I think it's just more so to do with probably my car being lowered, and probably to do with like camber, all that suspension geometry crap. So we'll see. We'll get it sorted out and get driving this thing soon, hopefully. For now, that's probably going to be it for this video. I might just get a new hub and bearing assembly like all together, just because it'll be easier than trying to press it out, because the last time I tried to press out The old one, the like inner half of the bearing actually came off with the hub. So like, I mean, the bearing like split in half in two pieces and I couldn't do anything about it. So I'm not sure if that would happen again, but might just be easier to get a new hub and the bearing assembly all together because it's cheap enough. So I'll probably just do that. I won't worry about pressing it out, and I'll look into the CV, and then we'll kind of go from there with the next video and see what I figure out. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.